Alright, so I just want to make a real quick video here on how to repair your misassembled Legends Black Arachnia figure. So a lot of people are finding that these have been misassembled. The easiest way to tell, actually there are two ways to tell whether or not yours has been misassembled. First is symptomatic, so if you take a look on ones that are misassembled, so mine's already been fixed, but when they are misassembled, this front torso piece is actually incredibly difficult to move up and down. You can see mine is moving pretty freely right now, which is the way it's supposed to be. In addition, you'll be able to see a pretty clear gap between the bottom of her neck here and then the upper part of the torso. So prior to making this change, mine was, with a lot of struggling, was probably able to get about this high up, and now I'm able to, move it all the way up as the designers intended. So that's a symptom. The very easy way to tell whether or not yours has been misassembled is to look and see where the torso screw is. So if it's been misassembled, you're going to see a screw hole and a screw underneath her left arm here. As you can see, I've flipped the torso on mine, and the screw hole is now underneath her right arm, which matches the original assembly on the animated Black Arachnia. So that's how you can tell whether or not yours has been misassembled. And it's actually pretty easy to fix. You do have to punch out a couple, or take out a couple of rivets in order to do it, but it's not really that bad. So in order to do that, you're going to have to first remove 3 screws. So you'll have to remove the one that's going to be under the left arm on yours. And then additionally, there are 2 screws on the bottom here. So there's another small one here, and then a very, very tiny one down here. So when you remove these 2 screws, you'll actually be able to take her entire lower body and move it. You can just set that aside until you're ready to reassemble the figure. Doing so is actually going to expose the bottom part here of her waist, where they peg together here, and you'll see that that is held together by a very small pin. So this pin is very small, very flimsy. I think all it does is basically prevent the 2 halves of this from sliding forward and back, along with the fact that it's held together by her waist here. So when you do that, that's going to expose kind of a mushroomy type shaped peg here at the bottom. And so the first thing I did after getting her lower piece out of the way here was to use my flathead screwdriver and just work kind of back and forth on that piece to get this pin loosened up. This pin is very small, it's very flimsy. Mine actually bent a little bit while I was working this back and forth. Pro side of it being a little bit flimsy is it's very easy to just straighten back out with a pair of needle nose pliers, which is what I did during reassembly. So once you have that out, you basically have the majority of the easy stuff out of the way in terms of making this fix. So taking a look, biggest thing that you're going to need to do basically is you need to flip these 2 pieces here, the 2 halves of her torso. So these 2 are held together by not much up here. There's no pin or anything that runs through here. This is just held together by a couple of nubs and friction. So you'll be able to, just take her head, set it aside. The post that runs through here, so the post is what this hinges up and down on, the front piece of her torso. That was held together by the screw that ran through here that you've removed. And then the majority of the bottom portion of her torso is held together by this pin, and then again the piece that's concealed by the lower part of her body down here. So you're able to remove this. You can take her arms off if you want to. I found it easier to leave them on so that I would have a clue as to how the orientation was in case I got mixed up while I was doing it. So you'll be able to start pulling this apart. You should actually be able to pull it apart into both halves at this point. Once you do so, you will see that this piece is pinned on from right here. So this bisects in half. There's a pin, big metal pin that runs from here all the way into here. And so you can see these are 3 distinct pieces. So there's the outer part that holds her legs on. There's the, in the middle here, there is the torso piece. And then there's I guess the part of the rest of her torso, her lower torso down here. So what we need to do is we need to get this whole piece off this way, so that we can then take this piece, switch it over, switch this piece over here, and then start reassembling things. So again, the pin is pretty big, but what I found and what others have found is that you can actually work that out just using a small flathead screwdriver. You can see I ended up with, you know, a tiny little bit of plastic, you know, marks on the plastic, nothing significant. But basically what you want to do is stick your small screwdriver in here, and then you can either work it back and forth this way, or I actually found a lot of success wedging it in there and then moving it back and forth this way like you're screwing a screw. And so you want to take that, you want to work back and forth here, work back and forth on the other side a little bit. The other thing that I found was very helpful, actually a couple things. First of all, keep in mind that when it's been reversed, before you've reversed this, so with the misassembly, what's on the front is going to be on the back, and what's on the back is going to be the front once you reorient them. So you can see here, you probably can't, but there's a little couple marks from when I was doing this repair. So I made sure that I was always working on the side that was going to be facing backward after it was done. Again, these are really imperceptible. I mean, they look like they could be manufacturing marks as well. It's very, very tiny. So that's the first thing. The second thing that I had a little bit of success with was, once this is all disassembled, you know, these two parts that are held together in the middle here, you'll be able to move them freely. What I was able to do was kind of rotate it up into her body so that I could get a little bit more space to work with. You see here, I've created a little bit more surface area to work with. So basically, you know, get a little bit extra leverage off of this piece. So it took me a little bit on the first side. I would say maybe 10 minutes or so of working this back and forth, maybe 15, because I wasn't sure if it was working or not. The second piece I got off very quickly, kind of once I discovered that maybe doing a little bit of side-to-side motion was a little bit more effective. So those pins will come out, then all you need to do is take one half, flip it to the other side, and then you just start reassembling things. So first you take you know, your punch or something that you use to put the pin back in. You know, I took mine, of course this was all disassembled, but set it down on some you know, something stable, and then used my tool to and a hammer to drive that back in. So really you can complete this really with, you know, just a few simple tools. I have a punch and a screwdriver, and then a hammer is really all you need. So again, you just kind of start working your way backward, put those pins in. You'll have to, head is basically flipped around, everything flips around, you switch the arms from side to side. You want to make sure that the exposed side here with the open plastic is facing forward on your spider legs as you reassemble it. But again, as you finish up, you end up with a black Arachnia that looks much better than she did out of the box. And again, much more closely matches what the designers had wanted to do with this. So I definitely like the look. It's definitely an easy fix that I think pretty much anyone can do. I don't have a ton of experience knocking out pins, but it was pretty simple, and I wasn't particularly worried that the figure would break at any point. So that is it. Thanks for watching, and good luck fixing your Legends Black Arachnia figure.